Hey everybody, welcome to the final installment of the 2021 season preview in the sense of we're working with each line on the field. Today's going to be obviously a shorter video. We're talking about the Rucks in this one. We've only got a couple on the list, but I do want to, for the sake of completion, get through every single position on the field. And the Rucks, it's very simple. We've obviously got Tom de Koning, Mark Pitternet, and I believe Levi Casbolt will be the third ruck option or backup ruck option if necessary. But let's take it back one step. We lost Matthew Cruiser to retirement in 2020, and I was a little surprised that we didn't replace him with another ruckman on the list. I know that Tom de Koning showed plenty of promise in 2020. I think that was, it was the first year where we said, oh, okay, he's ready to start playing regular football. I think we're banking on him to go up another level in 2021 and play as our number one ruck option. That sort of seems to be what the situation is at the moment. I really rank them as follows: TDK 1, Pitternet 2. I personally am not in the school of thought where we play both of them in the one game. There might be certain games where that's feasible. I know that Tom de Koning did a lot of his early development with the club as a forward just to get that craft going. It all really depends on how we're going to play, in the forward line. Are we going to use this three tall system that Teague likes to do? I know that that was something we wanted to do when we had Charlie. We don't know where Charlie's at, so it could be a situation where it's Tom de Koning as our number one ruck, with Levi as the third tall, with Mitch McGovern and Harry Mackay, and then Levi chopping out Tom as we go. But just on each of them, so Levi, forward craft, ruck craft. I think when he's doing both of them, I think it suits him. I don't know if Levi as a full-time forward works consistently week in, week out. What I like about his last, let's say, 2 to 3 seasons is now that we've moved him around the ground a little bit, if it isn't working in one position, he's able to find form in another position. So I really think it's good for Levi. He uses his tank. I mentioned this in my previous video that the fixture in 2020 could have affected the way he played. He started very, very well in 2020. So I'm very keen to see what he can do in 21 with a normal fixture. Pitternet, what I loved about him was his competitiveness. He's fierce, and really it was his first proper crack at AFL football at the level. He's at that age now where you'd think that he's starting to really get on top of his body, his mind. I don't see any reason why he can't go up another level in 21. Based off 2020, that was the best season of his career, and I think he's well placed with opportunity. And, as long as he puts in the work, which, we know he does, I think he's definitely a viable option. I'm not even ruling him out to be starting round one. I know that Tom de Koning is the future, and we love him and we love his attributes. But I'm not really in the school of thought anymore of just playing him for the sake of playing him. I mean, if we want to win a game of football and, Tom's sore or out of form, Pitternet needs to come straight in, and vice versa. I do think that Tom will take precedence over Pitto, just by the fact of how good we think Tom's going to be, and his age profile, and he's got that athleticism, which is where Pitternet's a little bit limited. However, what Pitternet does that Tom doesn't is his ability to impact the contest with his strength. And the ruck position, it's tough. It's a tough position to play. It really is. So I look at Tom as the athletic type, the Nick Nat type who can jump over other ruckmen when he comes up against the Mumfords and these type of, bullocking ruckman. But Pitto holds his own as well. So, yeah, I want Tom to be playing as many games as possible. I don't know if I'm scarred by the Matthew Cruiser experience. We got games into him very early. Did that impact his career later on? It's probably hard to say that because injuries, then you'd never expect them. When I did play footy, I was a ruckman, and it's just a brutal position. So it's hard to expect a ruckman to be playing 20, 22 games, year in and year out. So I do like the fact that we've got a bigger body there to help Tom. but I do think we definitely needed potentially another ruckman just to sit on the list, because I mean, if we lose Touchwood, if we were to lose Tom for a week, we have Pitternet and Casbolt. It's a little slower, but I think it can work. And Touchwood, if we were to lose another one, we get very thin. And we don't want to have a situation where, Harry's chopping out in the ruck or Mitch McGovern's chopping out in the ruck, for me personally. So I'm starting with Tom. I think he's gonna go up another level in 21, but I'm very mindful of putting too much of a burden on him just yet. I think he's still got plenty more time to develop. I know that we're impatient as Carlton fans, but I do think Tom needs plenty more time to really go to that elite level, which I do think he can do. I think he's got the athleticism clearly. The strength component will come, but one thing about Tom which I loved was his will to want to impact the contest. Remember the Gold Coast game. I remember the Sydney game. Late in the fourth quarter, he was flying for marks. He was doing things at ground level, which ruckmen aren't really supposed to be doing. So we've got a beauty there. I'm looking forward to seeing his development in 21. And the same with Mark Pitternet. And I just hope that we can have a healthy year for the two of them and see them at their best. So what do you think? Let me know how you see our ruck division. Do you prefer playing two ruckmen with three tall forwards, or do you prefer playing one ruckman with three tall forwards and rotating that ruckman with that third? So let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see how we think about the team so far. Chat to you then.